It's a blessing to welcome on a top prospect in 2023, and I one of the top ranked guys as well, Maki Johnson. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, let's just get right into this. 247 released their first freshman rankings. You came in there being ranked. What if you like to be a part of that?
Great. Feels like my hard work been paying off.
And this is just the start. We knew you were a top player. You played at Huntington Prep last year. But you're starting to have the offers come in. You're starting to really get into this high school level where people are starting to notice you. How do you feel continue this trend?
Um, Pretty good. I just got to keep working, keep staying on the grind. Teays Valley, they're putting me in a good situation.
Let's talk about that move a little bit. You've been your freshman season at Huntington Prep, like I said. They shut it down for the year, COVID, a lot of other stuff happening. You're on to the Teays Valley for a year. What went in that decision?
Well, to start off, my dad had sent me up to this new school that was going to be up in Cincinnati. They're called Kaiju Academy,
Hmm.
but that didn't go as planned. So he sent me back down here to Teays Valley because we live down here, and he's comfortable with the situation.
Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier that you might be going back to Huntington Prep then for your junior season. Is that kind of what you want to do?
Yeah, I think because they developed me. I played there my eighth grade year and my freshman year. So
Talk about last season. Last year, you guys had a special roster featuring many high major guys: Isaiah Cottrell, Jamin, Brayon. I mean, the list goes on. Shane, a whole bunch of guys on that team. What was it like just being part of that environment and practicing against those guys and playing with them every day?
it was good. They really pushed me. Like I always looked up to them, asked them questions, but they don't take nothing. They don't take no softness. They make sure I'm on my game 100% of the time.
All those guys were 2, 3, some even maybe 4 years older than you. How'd they develop you overall, just playing against those guys that are much older and much more physical than you?
Well, I came in. I was kind of soft my eighth grade year. I played on the second regional team, and then I realized I got to work harder. I got to gain some weight over the summer. I came in and got my jumper better, and then I tried not to be as soft. It doesn't matter how strong you are. You got to play hard all the time, practice and in games.
Every day you're going up against a guy that's going to be a point guard for Michigan State next year, a guy that's going to be a George Washington point guard in a couple of years. All these elite level guards. Who are some of your favorite matchups and what was it like playing against those guys?
My favorite matchup, I love going against AJ Hoggard because he's the number one person. Him and Jamin Breakfield got the softness out of me.
Hmm.
They made me a tough, rough, physical player. And AJ would always bump me, and he tried to bully me a little bit. That just makes me better. I like that.
As you start to develop now, you go back there for your junior season, but as you start to develop over the next couple of years, how do you kind of become a role model and kind of mentor other young players, Jamin and AJ kind of did for you?
It makes me feel good. I like to make sure they follow my path so they don't go on the wrong path and end up wherever. I just want them to be good, be great.
No doubt. Well, let's talk about some of this recruiting process for you right now. First offer was Akron, but now you've added on a lot of high major schools: Ole Miss, Virginia Tech, Auburn, Maryland, Xavier. What's kind of interest looking like right now? Who's showing you the most interest and who's talking to you the most right now?
I'd say the highest interest I have right now is Indiana. They've called me twice, and then Cincinnati's called me last week, and Louisville sent me a couple letters over the year, and I have a couple more interests, but I haven't really gotten on the phone with them yet. So
So would you kind of expect the Indiana offer to come in pretty soon then?
yeah, I'd expect it to.
That's big time. Let's talk about the schools that have offered you to this point. We'll start with Ole Miss. Their program is a really big time team, adding a lot of talent right now. Schools like Matthew Murrell. You also have Dacian Ruffin out there now coming in a year. What do you like about them?
Actually, I didn't play because I didn't get in the game, but I watched him play against Prep on the ESPN2 when what that was last year and at IMG. He had like 10 threes that game. He was just going off. He had a good game. I think he's real good.
Now, when a program is able to land a guy like Matthew and then they land Dacian Ruffin the year after, does that make them more appealing since the top guys want to go to Ole Miss?
Yeah, in some ways, I just want someone that really likes me and knows how to develop me and get me ready.
Let's go down that kind of board. I mean, a lot of people have a list of priorities for them in terms of a college. Kind of give a rundown that list. What's the important pieces of a college for you to really even consider them?
Um, I want to know how to play the game. I want to like not just go up and down free for all. I like to have a coach who knows what they're doing, possibly get me ready for the NBA if I do get that high level. and I want to be comfortable with my teammates, like the coaches, just all that kind of stuff.
Build me a dream coach. I know some guys like a more older coach that's been more experienced, has won a lot. Some like the younger coach is a player coach. What's kind of your personality traits? What do you want in a coach?
I like a player coach. My dad used to coach me when I was younger, and he used to really get into it with the kids. And when I went up to Cincinnati for a couple of weeks, his name's Coach Larry Davis. He really gets into it, and he's real hype. And I like when coaches have a lot of energy.
I'm not sure there's too many coaches that have more energy than Coach Bruce Pearl, which is your Auburn offer. What do you like about them?
Oh, they're good. I haven't really gotten on the phone with them yet, but
Mm-hmm.
they did offer me, so I'm real excited about that one.
They have a guy in Sherry Cooper, a top 20 guy, a five-star recruit. If they're able to make him an NBA draft pick either the next year or two, does that make them more appealing?
Oh yeah, for sure. If any school gets NBA kids, then I'll definitely consider more.
How about Virginia Tech? They're also another great program. What do you like about them?
They're good. I like their coach. He talked to me. He actually is the first one to offer. No, he was my third offer,
Mm-hmm.
and that was when I got 3 offers in one day. He was my first one that day. So, and I like the way he talked, how he represented himself, and that was good.
Let's go back to your first offer, the Akron one. When that did come in, what was that day like? What was your reaction when you found out your school was going to be paid for?
Oh, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I got up, jumped up and down, went and told my dad, and then later that day at practice, I went to practice, and after practice, that's Ole Miss offered me that same day.
When you have that opportunity, I mean, Akron obviously is a great school. It's cool to have your first offer of that, but Ole Miss is a Power Five, a big school. Kind of cap your day off with that. What was that like?
I did the same. I tried not to smile because he told me in person. That was before COVID happened and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tried not to smile, and then he walked away, and I smiled at my coaches and was hyped.
So it's now been 6, 7, 8 months now of all the stuff happening, all these offers piling in. You're calling coaches, all this stuff's happening. What's it feel like just to look back at this and see how far you've come now throughout this COVID time?
Oh, it feels great. I'm real glad that this hard work is paying off because this is what I work for. This is what I live. This is what I do.
Maryland's another awesome program. Coach Turgeon is an incredible coach, and they're putting together another couple big time classes. What do you like about Maryland and Coach Turgeon?
I liked him a lot. He talked to me. I liked the way he talked, how he said how the campus was and all that. He actually offered me when I was in this room right here. So
As you continue to build these bonds with coaches, it's going to be still another year or so to really get in the process. How do you get ready for that, and how do you expect to really adjust to having coaches watching you and having kind of pressure, if you want to call it now, being a ranked player as you go back and play in games again?
I gotta play hard and not be scared at all. Don't be soft. Don't be scared. You'll be fine as long as you got a high level skill set and you play hard.
Xavier's another big program. Coach Steele's an incredible coach. He has that younger aspect too. One of the younger coaches in college basketball, high energy, elite level coaching now for the first few years out there. What do you like about his energy and just overall Xavier program?
I do like his energy. I haven't really got to watch him coach much, but when he's talking, he sounded real. He knew what he was doing. Sounded like, and they got this new transfer in from Belmont, Kunk Al something Kunkel, and he's real good. I think I want to play like he does.
You mentioned Indiana. Haven't given you an offer yet, but we can imagine it's going to come in pretty soon. There's a connection there. Isaac McNeely, another top guy you played with before with Wildcats, which we'll talk about in a minute. But what would that connection be like, possibly playing with a guy like Isaac at the college level?
Oh, that would be great. Someone I'm comfortable with, someone I talk to. It'd be a great experience.
How's it kind of mentored you or helped you now throughout your basketball career so far?
Uh, he helped me a little bit. We don't really talk because we're not on the same team, but I try to look at his game and see what I do, what he does that I don't do. So.
And so when you talk about Indiana, they have an incredible history behind them. They're really known as a team that's won a lot of championships before. Just has that kind of blue blood, if you want to call it, feel behind them. What's that like?
Oh, that feels like I'm really like up there now, trying to be up with the big dogs. So that feels good too. Yeah.
So let's kind of go through last year a little bit more. You guys played a national schedule, traveling a ton throughout the country. What's last year like?
I actually enjoyed it a lot. I didn't play much the first half of the season, but the second half of the season it came in, I felt good. Started getting playing time, started gaining weight, and that's when the softness really got out of me. That's when I started playing hard and shooting the ball real well.
When would you say it clicked that you realized you're going to become a top player in your class and you can become a high major player?
Probably the start of my freshman year, the beginning of my freshman year, when I started playing with the big dogs and starting to get the feel for what they do and how they work.
So that first practice going against guys like Isaiah, talk about AJ Brown, those guys. What was that first practice like for you?
Uh, the first practice, it was nothing. My freshman year, it was nothing new because last year, my eighth grade year, actually, that was when I first got the feel. My eighth grade year first practice I was nervous. I didn't know Jamin or AJ or none of them yet, but they walked in, they knew what they were doing. They weren't scared. They came in, they said it was their court. That's who I look up to. Yeah, they're good.
And being a freshman last year obviously would have been harder to kind of take that dominant lead role, but you start developing now into your sophomore, junior, senior season where you also start to have more and more prominent role in the team. How did you be able to take that in, become a star player, and learn how to handle yourself being a star guy?
It starts in practice. You gotta practice like you play. You practice against the best guys, and you play against the best guys. So being at Teays Valley, it helps me a lot, especially their players. We work on a lot of defense. So when you're on offense, you gotta really try. So
Couldn't agree more. Well, this wasn't the AAU season you wanted to have. You were going to run Wildcats Select. You got some stuff in there, some games, tournaments, camp kind of stuff. What was overall this little short AAU season though for you?
uh, mine felt kind of normal, just a little late.
Mm.
I enjoyed the overall season because we had that training day and it helped me get those offers, and then I've always had fun with my AAU teammates, so it was good.
There's a moment that Wildcats posted that you guys were kind of setting up a game, last minute shot. You're the guy who shoots the last second shot. You make the game winner. What goes in that mentality when you want to take over a game and hit a last second shot? What goes through your mind, and how do you know that you're able to do that?
What goes to my mind is I got to think, take over, like stop doing whatever you were doing before. You just got to get rid of whatever you were doing and start over. Walk back. You can walk to half court and come back, and then just relax, and then try to take over the game and have the mentality that you're the big dog. This is your court. This is my place. That's how it goes through my mind.
If you had a full AAU season this past year, what were some of the things you wanted to accomplish and get done, and prove to people in this past year?
That I was a top ranked player. That I was better than what people thought I was. I thought I was underrated before, and I work. I think I have a top 5 work ethic, so that means a lot to me.
Two names that are constantly thrown about you when they're describing your game: big guard. That's kind of the modern day thing. We see these guys that are 6'3", 6'4", and above running the point guard position. How have you grown to them becoming this modern day big guard?
Well, when I was younger, I was always taller, but I was never a point guard. I was more of a shooting guard, 3 or 4. I just growing up, I always worked on my handle. I was never great at shooting, but I just my 7th, 8th grade year, I started working on my shooting way more. So
Who gave you the confidence to start running the point guard position?
my dad, for sure, he gave me my handle, and my trainer Tyler Carter, he helped me. He gives me a lot of stuff on the court, a lot of bag work, a lot of I don't know what to say. Just he helps me with my mindset, really.
Let's talk about your dad a little bit. He was named a top 100 most influential person in women's basketball. Having a dad that's been heavily involved in basketball and knows what he's doing in that world, how's that been and how's that helped benefit you throughout your career?
Oh, it helped benefit me a lot. He knows if like he deals with the college coaches, the girl side, so the boy side's a little different, but he pretty much knows what's going on. He knows what would be best for me and what would be bad for me, stuff like that.
What's some of the biggest advice he's not giving you for your recruiting process as you start to approach that?
He tells me that I got to be smart, not do nothing stupid, and keep working hard. You can't get up top 5 in the country, 20 plus offers, and then relax. You can't do that, or you'll go downhill fast.
And your first rise to the fame really was in the MHTV camp about a year and a half ago. What was that camp like, and what was it like really starting to blow up?
Well, that camp, it was good coming out there. I went to the D-Rich camp, the D-Rich TV camp the same year, but I did awful. And that was my first camp I ever went to, was D-Rich. And I came back like, I cannot do that again. So I put hard work in, and I came in, and I showed a top player in the country what I was about.
You're ranked 34 now, 247, as I mentioned before. How do you look to be able to sustain that? We know a lot of guys being ranked early on, it's hard to sustain that. How do you try to sustain that, though, or possibly even move up now over the next 3 years of high school?
Uh, like I said, the hard work. If you work harder than your opponents, then there's no way they should pass you up or keep you where you're at. If you work harder, you're going to get better than.
At this point in time, where would you rank yourself in 2023?
Rankings don't really matter, but I do think I'm a top player.
No doubt, man. Well, let's kind of talk about someone else, man. I know one of your favorite players is Andrew Wiggins. That's a guy that I haven't really heard many people say that before. Why is he one of your favorites?
Well, he went to Huntington Prep when I was a little kid. He dates my sister now, so when I'm in the gym with him, he helps me do a lot. He teaches me many things, and he knows how to get up. He knows what to do in certain situations, stuff like that.
He's a guy I think is hated on a lot more than he ever should be. Have you kind of learned from that? He's had to handle and deal with a lot of pressure on him, both on and off the court for whatever reasons, a lot of hate. How's he kind of taught you to be able to deal with that and handle that now as a player, both on and off the court?
He says you got to ignore it. You can't let nobody get to you, because at the end of the day, he's making money. They're not. He's on TV. They're not. So.
Couldn't agree more, man. Well, something I was like wrapping up talking about is building a legacy for yourself, which I think is something all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want to remember for, and what do you want your legacy to be?
I want to be remembered as one of the hardest workers to be in the game, like Michael Jordan, like Kobe Bryant, like the crazy stories they tell. I want to do what they did.
That's a mentality not many people have. Who established that in you, and how did you really learn to embrace the game and love the game that much?
When I was little, I always loved the game, but I always thought I was better than what I was until I went to that D-Rich camp. And then that's when I realized I got to get in the gym. I got to work hard. And then I started working and working more, and that just made me want to be a top guy. So
you'll kind of always remember as the D-Rich camp kind of being the turning point of your career?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because I did awful at that camp.
No doubt, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Keep on doing your thing, man. Look forward to seeing what God got next for you, man.
All right, thank you.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.